The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. Now, we've been saying all week, be patient, be patient. You might think FOMC is pushing us down. You might think earnings are pushing us down, but you gotta wait. Why? Because you had the big dogs coming at the end of the week. You had Amazon, Apple, and Meta, and we knew that this could change the game. That's why we don't jump to conclusions. That's why we trade the action that's in front of us. And I'm going to tell you, we had some monster beats across the board, and I do believe there's a major indicator right now that is pointing to possibly one of the best rallies that you could see since last January. Look, don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to show you the data. I'm going to show you the facts. You can tell me if you think I'm wrong, and I want to see those comments down below. So off rip, yes, you have this mega candle. I think Johnny Depp calls it a mega pint. I don't know. Anyways, so you basically all day long, you're getting some nice movement to the upside. You wanted to see that push down here. Obviously, it never happened. Giving you a better little bit of a visual, you can see that we came right in. This is the same level we mentioned yesterday. I want to, just make sure that's visualized if you go watch the video right down to here. This demand was invalidated early this morning, but you still held on, and then you just basically formed out a new demand zone here as well on the 4-hour chart. So now this is 110% your new demand zone right there, which is going to be a major and very clear support, right? You shot up. So we made new all-time highs basically here at the close, and now we're just kind of trending up here at highs. This is ES S&P futures. You go into Nasdaq, you look a little bit here. Now, I said yesterday, right? We saw that break, slow chop, and then we held there and we shot back up. And I said, you don't want to trade this area, but if you get below 17.1, and I also said yesterday, there's clearly weakness from sellers because it took you so long to, sell down. And go watch, I encourage you, go watch that video from yesterday. And then now you look at this, right? It's hard to deny. You have this major demand that's now established. You can get rid of this zone down here, get rid of this one right here, because now it's super clear where our support is, what we're looking for, and it's right here. So now again, we've just developed a new overall demand, clearly established. Buyers proved that they were much stronger than sellers today when we shot back to the upside. You can also see here on higher time frames, like the daily time frame as well, you are clearly making higher lows and higher highs. The bull trend is 100% still intact. Okay, you could almost even argue that on the daily that you're forming a demand from yesterday's action. Kind of incredible. Okay, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And I was gonna wait to tell you. I was gonna really make you wait for the whole video, but I'm not that type of guy, right? You know what? I'm not a tease. You go to the dollar. Now, this is number one. The dollar was in this nice little pennant kind of formed out here. The 100 MA or the 200 daily SMA rejection. This is more rejections than I've ever literally faced in my entire life. I kid you not. And believe it or not, I went through a really bad phase when I was in 6th grade. It was tough for me. Then I got to 9th grade and, some good things happened to me, right? But overall, just rejections, and then boom, today. But this, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the most interesting of all. Now, this is what we're waiting for. This is what we want to see. We saw a rejection from where? You zoom back out, your 2022 highs right there. The peak of the recession that we had, right? You saw the rejection there. We got back below 4.2. But the big question again, right? The big question everyone's waiting to see is, do you break below 4%? You can see we have a little bit of liquidity down here as well, as you can see there. But you can see this is going to be a very critical and crucial level. Discord spots are now open. Take advantage while you can, okay? These spots will close once they're full. I believe there's 5 spots left. We opened up about 20. They've all filled up. We opened them last night midnight like I said I would. That is it after these fill. They're full at least until March, bare minimum. So take advantage while you can. The spots are open. Do what you want. That's it. We'll still have all the free content. We'll be live here every single day at 10:30 a.m. Central. We're live on TikTok. We're live on, we have stuff on Twitter. We have our website. All that stuff's free. The website, free education, free course, everything like that. For those of you that don't know, the 30-year yield is one of the best metrics of looking at what's really happening in the bond market and rates. Because rates on, for instance, mortgages, right, and interest rates in general, right? You have what the Fed is doing and then how the market's also pricing those in as well with the underlying bonds and yields on those, correct? Now, if we look at what's happening, we've seen yields go up even without rates being raised. We saw that happen, back August and October, right? We saw it happening then, but then we look here and we saw last year. We saw last year when we broke below 4% on the yields, the 30-year yield. We saw a flood of buyers come back into the market, okay? Beginning the end of this year, like October into basically December, we saw the yields drop drastically, almost a full percent. I'm looking 5%, almost down to 4%. And we saw home loans, home mortgage rates, we saw those drop from an average of 7.7 down to 6.5. And then we saw, again, I'm not trying to hype you, I'm just pointing out the facts, right? These facts are what's going to dictate movement in the market. Then we saw this past home data release, what happened? Pending home sales are up 8% month over month. New home builds dominating the market, right? Now, am I saying that this is healthy for the economy? I am not. But what I am saying is that it is good for the economy. In the short term, at the very least, this is good for the market. And I'm telling you right now, when I look at this data, I am telling you, if the 30-year government bonds yields, if it gets below 4%, like we said last year, I am telling you, you thought we were bullish? You thought we were bullish right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you right now. You get below 4%, IWM, boom. Immediately. It's gonna snap. It's gonna move. It's gonna move quick. And then you're gonna see other names that rely on interest rates, such as EVs, solar companies. These are just a few of them. Housing companies, new builders, things along those lines will start to move up as well. You'll see small caps get some room for growth. Now, I'm not saying this will last forever. I'm not saying this is the absolute bottom. Nothing bad can ever happen. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling you, be prepared now, because you're seeing those yields drop drastically and very, very fast. So when we go over equities, just understand this could start happening very quick. And this was why I was so excited in the beginning of the week, because I knew if FOMC just didn't go terrible, which I don't believe it went terrible yesterday. I said it yesterday. I was like, I don't think it went bad. Nothing negative was said. They're now on the path of getting to cut rates. It's just not happening in March. So we already knew that, right? So again, follow me while you can. Ask questions too down below. But again, pay very close attention. Okay, so yeah, we're looking for yields to get pushed down there. Now let's go to SPY, look at Qs, give you a little bit of a visual. Now again, on SPY, dude, like these levels, if you are not marking these levels on and watching them every single day on your chart, I don't know what to, I don't know what to tell you. But again, SPY, we mentioned it yesterday. We mentioned where your demand was. Came right into it, you bounced. Just like that. And on top of it now, you formed another one. You have formed a demand above a demand. It is absolutely ludicrous. If you really think about Luda, you absolutely just keep doing it. I mean, this is incredible. What's happening here? Blazing out of this. And it looks like you're about to open up at all-time highs again here on SPY. So SPY, very impressive. What you want to see is a mount of previous highs there. You want to see the break, retest, and then continuation to there. Go to Qs. What's happening here? You're not even there. That's the craziest part is Qs aren't even there yet. That's actually the craziest part. Now Qs, you got a little bit of danger, but that's why we charted out in Q. That's why I was telling you everything there. But again, you got back up. You've developed another demand here as well. As you can see, boom, boom, boom right there. That's exactly what we want to see. That's your support. You can also see some of that liquidity over here as well. And if you're interested in what our liquidity levels are, our liquidity levels down here, you know, what's happening down here as well with our volume indicators, is more for scalping. So you can see buyers versus sellers. That's Chart Prime. The link for that is down below. So if you're interested, check them out. No pressure whatsoever. But something to check out there as well. So we're definitely getting more pressure. Okay. Now this is where I get some of the most excitement. We go over to look at some of this data on SPY and Qs and some of the things that we do know. And this is, it's what gets me, out of the bed in the morning, dare I say. And when we look at what's happening, red and green days overall. So Fridays are some of the best for peak days. Okay. I want to go over exactly why. So usually the high on SPY is closed out on Fridays. So I do believe this is Edgeful as well. The link for them is down below. You get a 7-day free trial, so make sure you look at them. But they're mainly just all data analytics on the market and specific equities. You can look at whatever stock you want, but I use it mainly for SPY and Qs. And you can see that this is the most closes on the year. 36% of all closes on the weeks have been on Friday on our highs close. Okay. And then we go to volume. And I believe this is volume, as you can see here, our average ATR, right? On Fridays, 4.5, one of the highest, Thursdays and Fridays, as you can see here. But the best volume typically comes on Friday. And I think buyers show up. I believe so. And then also, too, we know if Friday's in strong, typically this rolls over into Mondays, right? All based on analytics and things we're looking at there. So it's important to keep all these combined so we're looking at this, right? And I believe it's just going to be another one of those days, right? We've seen the momentum, and this is what I've been saying. Once the tone is set, I believe it's going to be set for the next 2, maybe 3 weeks. So right now, I believe we have a 2-week runway to make the money. Now, I'm not going to say that's just how long the run's going to last, but that's going to be some of the most volatility like we saw last year with AVGO, like we saw with LRCX, like we saw with NVDA when it ran. All those names, you had a lot of momentum last year around the same time of the year. I don't think it's a coincidence. So we need to be taking advantage of this while we can. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I'm extremely excited. I'm happy. I was just like, honestly, the worst case scenario is that the earnings ended bad and then we just kind of slowly chopped down this week. But this was what we wanted, right? FOMC wasn't fireworks. It wasn't crazy. You really had to wait for earnings to come out. But I mean, when we look at what happened, monster beats on Meta. Monster. You're up like $60 in the after hours. Crazy. Meta is dominating when it comes to advertisements. Companies like I said with Google, it's unfair that you had Meta and Microsoft pulling back off of and Amazon pulling back on Google's shitty data, right? And their advertisements. Google has been lackluster in comparison to Meta when it comes to advertisement. Google has been lackluster when it comes to cloud data storage. We already knew this, right? So AWS, Azure, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta have been killing it. I said yesterday as well, we knew we knew they weren't going to do great. Their sales in China are down drastically. I think it's down like 25%. But what we said, we knew Amazon was going to beat, and we just needed Microsoft to pull it out, and they did. And this is what we wanted. And all the good things that Apple said kind of benefited Microsoft because they're all going into that, VR headset thing as well. So this is what we wanted. And again, as we get into these equities, keep your head on a swivel. Don't get, FOMO, all in YOLO. Do your research. Make sure, you're not just saying, well, Tyler called it out. I'm getting in. Really do your research. But again, getting excited. Also, too, there's a few spots left in Discord, right? I might have mentioned them already, but there's a few spots left. They will be closed after today. You're going to get text alerts and Discord access. That's everything right now, right? So take advantage while you can. The price did go up, and it's going to keep going up into summer, but we're keeping those spots locked. This is just for churn with some people that leave, and we open up a few more spots. But we've really started to get rid of all of the other tiers for people that are only serious about doing this now. And so I hope you guys take advantage while you can. Let's get back to work. Okay, so when it goes to equities, first of all, I want to go into non-earnings so far. I said something on Twitter today. Okay, and if you don't follow on Twitter, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, I had a cough. But when we're scrolling down, what did we say? I want to be really clear. If the market stays alive, this was actually today, 8:50 a.m. Near 17.4 today, after these earnings, Microsoft is going to break all-time highs quick. I am not kidding you. Their earnings were some of the best and most impressive. I believe you're going to break 415. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to say that, but keep your head on a swivel. I'm telling you right now, this is one of the top stocks to be watching. I'm probably going to be going long almost at open. I'm telling you right now, love Microsoft. Be watching it. They're dominating in their space right now. You look at something like the daily, and again, this right here was the trap among all traps, and you just came right back down into this little bit of a level that you had right there, and you bounced right back out of it. Okay, I'm telling you, this is going to be a monster, very big monster. Number two, AMD. I said yesterday, AMD's earnings were not bad. I told you they weren't bad, but this is the problem when you're sitting at all-time highs and you run $60 in a month on a $100 stock. That is the problem. You go from November $100 to mid-January to $185. It was a great run, 85%. You see all that liquidity down there, and you can see it's very illiquid up here. But you held right here where you needed to, 164.8. And what is that level? You can see it too on our chart prime indicator, where that level, the liquidity is. But again, what is this level? It's your previous high from 2021, 2022. You held it and you bounced. The same level mentioned yesterday. Now, again, once you mount 175, I think that's all the confirmation in the world you need to push back into highs as well. I love AMD. I love Microsoft. I think they're both value. I think they're both pretty cheap on the option chains going for March. That's what I would be looking at specifically there. That's my personal opinion. Okay, next up, Netflix. Dear Lord, baby Jesus. I'm talking 6.5 ounce NASCAR driving, flying through the air, saving all of humanity. That's the guy I'm talking about. Netflix mounts 562. This is the same level we mentioned for the past 4 days. over and over. And the liquidity level from Chart Prime, it's all there for you. You're bouncing. I'm looking for Netflix to start breaking back out. I genuinely think this thing could hit 600 and quick. Very quick. Once you break 580 and hold, it's going to start running. Giving you a visual of why I say that, why I expect that. You go back to 2021, 2022. You traded in a clear-cut range of basically 570, 580, back down to lows of 470, 480. Once you break this level, it's going to fly, just letting you know. Just like you did back here, you broke, went to 620, came back down to 580, and then you went all the way up to 700. Again, don't quote me, do your own research, but yeah, you're welcome. Next up, Tesla. Now, a lot of you guys are going to have a lot of questions. I did a little bit of a lesson for someone in Discord today, so I'm just going to clear this up. I cleared all my levels like a dingus. But what you're looking at here on Tesla, I'm not looking to go long on Tesla until you break these highs around 196. You got to break above that, but you do have a gap fill all the way up here. I'd be interested to see if you can start filling that gap. Okay. Again, like I always say, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like shorting names. I don't like going short on names while the market's very strong. I'm not hammering calls on Tesla at open, but I am looking for it to get some momentum. If it doesn't get the momentum, then I'm just going to, not trade it, not be looking at it. Now, obviously, NVIDIA as well, you're going to keep running. Congratulations, Discord. Jay has got you on NVIDIA. I'm not even going to chart it today. He's been killing it. Jay is like the wizard of NVIDIA. He wakes up. He sees semiconductors in his dreams. He thinks about, like when you've watched the movie Dune and he goes, I've dreamed dreams. Well, that is Joe Jordan when it comes to NVIDIA. He literally dreams about the movement of this stock. He's an absolute wizard. Keep your head on a swivel. This thing's a monster. That's going to wrap it up, guys. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'm pumped. You're pumped. We're all pumped. I just hope we have a good day tomorrow. I hope we all make bread. Hope we all make money. Tap in. I appreciate you. I love you. See you tomorrow.